What if I told you you need to scrap your annual plan this year? In 2020, that probably comes as no surprise. But what I am going to suggest is that you sit down and you take 30 minutes and you create your next 90-day fitness marketing plan. I'm Deborah Atkinson, and this is the Voice for Fitness Professionals podcast, where I address marketing and sales strategies that are anything but salesy, sleazy, and pushy, so that you can, with integrity, create a business and a life that you love, doing your passion. Okay, so no secret, I'm in the middle of a 30-day streak. I'm so close to the end, dangerously close to the end. I'm wanting to skip some of these last few days because trust me, 30 days in a row pushes you to come up with content that assures that I have something to say that you would want to listen to, that justifies my asking you to listen for whether it's 10 minutes, 15, or 20 minutes. Some have gone a little bit longer. But I wanted to have a takeaway that you can use every single time, whether it's to change your thought or literally to sit down and do some planning, create some videos, create some marketing, or here, take 30 minutes to map out your marketing plan. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. As always, the show notes will help you with practically a script, a transcript of what I've talked about. So if you need the summary, you need to see it in print, all you have to do is go to fitnessmarketingmastery.com/. 90-day plan. Okay, let's dive in. Your 90-day fitness marketing plan is 30 minutes away. You're going to have to do the work, but I'm going to walk you through a blueprint. Knowing exactly what you need to do and who on your team or when you're going to do it is half the reason you're not closer to your goals right now. That and the pandemic. But look, we all know it has changed things, but it changed things for all. So bear with me. It's a level playing field. Do you think clients and customers who aren't meeting you in person and utilizing you otherwise aren't exercising? They're doing something, or they will be. I could say, it may as well be you, but really, I want to say, heck yeah, it should be you, right? It doesn't make sense that it wouldn't be you. So if you've got people not wanting to meet with you face to face, who don't want to walk through your doors if you have a brick and mortar building, or even if you're doing it in your home or theirs, they don't feel comfortable with it. There are other alternatives. But here's the deal. You've got to sit yourself down, take 30 minutes to map out your 90-day plan, because a bunch of possibilities and a bunch of ideas need to have some structure. Otherwise, my guess is that all you'll be doing Monday is comparing how bad this Monday is to how great one you had in January before this all started was. And you cannot compare now to then. The next thing you're going to do is keep yourself busy, but busy is not productive. So truly, if you don't create this plan, you don't actually have a positive step to get through a day, let alone the next 90 days, making some progress toward not just survival, but thriving with profit. It's possible right now. If you don't have a list of the things that you need to be doing, the ones that are your highest priorities, you're going to do something else. We can always find things ourselves, or worse, someone else is going to hijack your time. So once you're settled in, I want you to do these things. In these 30 minutes that are going to map out your 90-day plan, I want you to write down first your big picture goals for 90 days. Ordinarily, when we had ordinary times, I'd ask you to include your year goals. But let's face it, right now, We're trying to regroup, pivot, listen, and respond. And that annual goal may be something you have no idea about right now. But 90 days, we can see that far. What will it take to cover your bills? You've got some idea about that already. What will it take to give you a little padding? You should make a profit even now. So, one way to do that is to cut all expenses that you don't need. You've got subscriptions and memberships. You've got hair that's getting done in certain ways that maybe wouldn't have to be so expensive. You've got nails potentially that are getting done that maybe don't need to get done. Maybe you go without. The goal is here to make it a game. See where you can find money instead of feeling like you're depriving yourself. Make it a game and see how much could you save if you wanted to. How much money could you find? So that will help you make a profit. The fewer expenses you have, and here I'm talking in two different terms, so I want to clarify. So there's you, the business, there's you, the personal trainer, who's the business, and then there's you, the household. But if you're one and the same, then cutting all costs, cutting all expenses is an all-inclusive factor. But I'm going to go into this a little deeper, so bear with me. You want to run what you do or what you buy, even if you work for somebody else, through the revenue and expense filter really tightly right now. Seriously, buying Lululemons, if you don't need them, can't be a justified expense. Right now, my suggestion would be, even if it's a personal want, that you don't blur the boundaries here. Let's be serious and cut expenses so you can get a profit again faster. If your jog bras are shredded, for instance, and you really have to have one, you could get it at Target. Buying this end of season sale stuff at Athleta, when you weren't shopping is not a necessity, right? I mean, during good times, you can do that. You can stock up, but now it's still money you have to spend that you may not have or you can't predict you won't truly need elsewhere in the near future. So don't be that person with a Suburban, gel nails, bleached hair, new Lulus at the bank needing to talk about your options for bankruptcy or loans. Okay, end of rant, but you get the picture, right? Now, what are the revenue drivers that you have or that you need to put in place right now to earn that number? That number that you decided, this is the number I have to pay the bills and to have a small amount of profit at least. So you want to say this number or greater when you're setting your goals. What kind of expense will you have in creating these products or services that are going to be the bread and butter of creating your revenue? So be smart here. You need next to nothing in terms of expense to package and bundle a service that somebody can buy on Venmo or PayPal from you today. There's really not that much holding you back. You can create documents online. You can use a free graphics editor like Canva, one of my favorite. What is free, but the most time consuming is getting copywriting down. You have to know how to create an offer. You have to know how to present it and then get started. Okay. Who needs to do the work? That's the next question you have to answer. So, is that just creative time, research into big sellers for you in the past? Like, what are the packages and the classes that sold you a lot of money in the past? Looking at purchasing or opting in for your competition services? I mean, what are those tasks that will help you determine what are the services and products that you can create or dig out of your archives? And who needs to do that work? Is that you, or can that fall and be delegated on somebody else? When is it due? So when you're creating a 90-day plan, you have to be on a timeline. This can't just kind of happen whenever. So notice I didn't ask how long it will take. Any task will expand to the time that it's given. So decide, how long is it going to take? And how much revenue will it bring in? So I know we've created this thing. You know what this thing is. For this, you're going to have to dig deep, right? You're going to be projecting already how much you're going to charge, how many you're going to sell, and you're going to have a game plan for selling that many. For instance, so every 10 people you talk to, you sell 5. Okay, you have a 50% conversion rate. That means you need to sell 10 of them a week. Then you need to talk to 20 people, right? Who were, of course, your ideal customer that you wrote in the copy and the script to persuade. That also means you have to start a list. Reach out for those people that you can book consults for. Whether you say, hey, I've been thinking about you and I've got an idea that will help you stay on track. Would you like to hear about it? Or you email or you text them something similar, you've got to have a plan for booking the appointments, having the conversation with them, offering the service, collecting the money, and you have to decide you're going to hit that goal or higher by the deadline you set. If you don't sell as well, then you're going to have to talk to more people. So leave yourself some room. Did you notice what I just did? So I mentioned it earlier, but the words I used were that goal or higher. And that's what I want you to be focused on too. Be open to more, not just hitting that goal, but that or more. There you have it. That's a recap. So, of those steps that are most important to you, sitting down so that you can create a plan and then go into action. You can actually put those tasks on your calendar, break them down into exactly what you can start working on today. Here they are. Set your goals, the revenue, decide what product or services will get you there. Identify if these are new or they're revised products and services and what has to be done to have them ready to sell now. Determine how many of them you have to sell to reach your revenue goal. Determine how many people you need to talk to in order to sell that many people based on your track record for conversion. Go into action with tasks added to your calendar or to your staff's calendar, depending on whose responsibility it will be. And that's it. Your job is to actually sit down and do this. So mentally, you might be walking, working out, maybe you're commuting, but you really have to grab some paper, sit down, figure it out. How much do you need? What products will you sell? How much will you charge? Therefore, how many of them do you have to sell? How many times do you have to talk to somebody in order to get to a sale? And now you've got a pretty good idea of what it is you need to do. Are you willing to do the work? Because the people are there and they still need help. What are you waiting for? They need fitness now more than ever.